So how did I land this brand collab? A local company called Paper Rain approached me for a collab, and they specialize in these beautiful longboard skate decks. Oh, the Kiwi accent. Hey, I'm Jazz. I'm an artist and a surface pattern designer based in Papamoa Beach, New Zealand. So how did I land this brand collaboration? Let's go, story time. Paper Rain have been around for a long time. They collaborate with some really great artists, and it was actually on my list to pitch to them for a collab this year. So when they got in touch via the good old Instagram DMs, I was rather chuffed, to say the least. After a little back and forth, I invited them along to my open studio event that I had in February. They came along and we met up in person. It was really great getting to know them and chatting about which artworks of mine resonated with them the most. They really liked my newer, more illustrative style of work. Here I am, just acquainting myself with the boards. I call it painting foreplay. The team sent me 2 boards to paint. I had a tight deadline for completion. The process took about 10 days all up, as there's a lot of layers and a lot of drying time. So I'm getting into the headspace of painting now, and this part always requires a few deep breaths on my behalf. Nothing like that first bit of paint on a fresh canvas, or in this case, a longboard. My underpainting is the same process that I normally use. Pour a bunch of light tones on, smear it round. How very complex. I like to use a warm tone, either yellow, orange or pink, and then a cooler tone to complement it. In this case, I used a soft orange and a blue. I did consider leaving some of the wood to show through the design, but I decided to stick with my usual painting process since the board is quite a new thing for me. Next up is white, always with the white. And the last bit here is quite a cute little situation. So in this jar is what I call my mother paint. So you know when you're making a kombucha or sourdough and you have a SCOBY or a starter from the previous batch? Well, I do the same process. I take all the runoff or excess from my underpaintings and put them back in a jar. And then for the next painting, I always add in a little of this mother paint. There's a little link between all my paintings. I kind of see them like an extension of myself, maybe like painting children. In all seriousness, I really like the continuity aspect of having the mother paint. Because I'm painting 2 boards, I want them to be cohesive since they're going to be hanging in a group exhibition. But how will I make them cohesive? Well, the substrate is going to be the same, so in this case the longboard deck. I'll use the same colour palette and the same subject, which is going to be a tablescape. Now, shall we talk about the inspiration behind my paintings? At the moment, I'm hugely inspired by those small glimmers and moments of simple happiness in life. In this case, having a few friends over, sharing a simple meal in the sunshine, there's something really special about those warm, relaxed times, a little boost of vitamin D, and since we live at the beach, some fresh kai moana. I wanted my brush strokes to feel more free and loose, capturing the essence of those carefree outdoor moments. As for the colour palette, I was drawn to bright citrus tones, complemented by a rich red and a sharp teal, which kind of reminded me of the ocean. I wanted a colour palette and a theme that would appeal to everyone. After a day or 2 of drying time, I did 2 layers of isolation coat. I like the clear gloss gel medium by Golden Paints. The isolation coat is a layer of medium that sits between the painting and the varnish, so if the varnish ever needs to be redone, it's a piece of cake and your beautiful painting is protected. Now for one of my favourite parts, pulling all the tape off. Now for some reason the audio didn't capture this, so let's imagine it together. The next day I added a few layers of spray varnish, allowing to dry between coats. I do love a good spray varnish. It's speedy and easy to apply. I'm using a matte spray by New Art. Not sponsored, just a delightful product. Let's package them up. Packaging original paintings is always a bit of a nightmare, but these boards came in beautiful packaging and are being picked up from my studio. Nice not having to stress about those wild courier drivers. It's about now that I realised I forgot my cute wee handwritten note for my future collector, so I'm going to add that in now. Surely I'm not the only one that always forgets this part and has to open everything back up again. And there you have it, my brand collaboration with Paper Rain. I'm incredibly proud of how these skateboard these longboards turned out. So I'm kind of pinching myself that my artwork is going to be sitting alongside some amazing Kiwi artists. And thanks to Paper Rain for giving me the opportunity. If you want to check out Paper Rain, I shall link them below. I would love it if you'd subscribe and join my current 14 subscribers on my YouTube channel. No, just doing the lawns. Just started. Lawns look great. Ah, the Kiwi accent. Dex. Pause.